Joining me now is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Governor, thank you so much for being here with us. First and foremost,
Sure,
there were two people that lost their lives, and we have to not skip past that. Those are families that are grieving in a church, in a community.
Yes.
That should have never happened. And God bless those people. I hope we do proper justice to their memory and wish them Godspeed.
Yeah, Jason, look, there were three heroes here. Richard White was pulling his pistol, attempting to take down the killer, whose name we won't mention. And Tony Wallace was standing there, didn't have a chance to defend himself at all. And then Jack Wilson that you saw. And for people who know firearms, it's one thing to go to the shooting range, Jason, as many of us do in Texas and other places in America, and be able to fire a shot at 10 or 15 yards on target. It's another thing when someone's pointing a shotgun at you and the adrenaline is flowing. And he took that in 6 seconds, it was over. You see, there are a lot of people in this country, led by the Democrats and the radical left, and Joe Biden, who highly criticized our law when we passed it, to allow members to conceal carry in church, to allow churches to have their own security force. We passed those two bills in the last 2 years in Texas. And we know,
Governor, let me
Yes.
jump in there, because you're right.
Yes.
First of all, that shot was amazing, and it comes with muscle memory and great training, and having the guts to do it and being the right person at the right time. The second part is the ability and the thought and the preparation that church has. But you're right, Joe Biden took a position and was chastising the governor of Texas for this. We have the sound of that. Watch this.
It is irrational, with all due respect to the governor of Texas, irrational what they're doing. We're talking about loosening access to have guns, be able to take them into places of worship, store them in school. I mean, it's just absolutely irrational.
Governor,
well, I have a message for Joe Biden. We passed that bill out of the Senate. I'm proud of it, Senate Bill 635 and Senate Bill 2065. And let's be very clear to the American people that Joe Biden is dangerous. He's not just an idiotic person who says impossible, absurd things, and he's not just naive, but he's dangerous. Americans who have to understand, whether you believe in owning a gun or not owning a gun, that the Democrats are dangerous. If they get elected to the White House, they will pass executive orders to take your guns, take your ability to protect yourself, your family, your property, and your friends, as those men did yesterday. It's idiotic to say to the American public that we want to take your guns and that's going to make people be better. There's evil in this world, Jason. There's darkness and there's light, and we all know it. And that was evil yesterday. And first responders, God bless them, they were there within a minute. But this was over in 6 seconds. And if Jack Wilson had not taken down that killer, there could have been 10 or 15 people killed before the police got there.
Oh, no,
it's the immediate response. It's the citizens' response that's the most important to stop these shooters.
That's right. Now, explain to the viewers at home, what was the law that Texas changed, and what did that church do in preparation? We've got a short amount of time, but explain to us what changed at that church.
Very quickly. So after the Sutherland shooting at that church several years ago, I asked the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, if indeed the law allowed us to conceal carry as it was written. And he gave an opinion back to us in the Senate and said, yes, if the church allows it. Now, the church, like any other private institution or private business, could post a sign and say you can't. I have not found a church yet who's posted that sign. There may be somewhere. But they know that their men and their women in there are going to be well-trained, their own security volunteer team. Some are off-duty police officers and sheriff's deputies, and they're going to protect their congregation, and they're going to protect the pastors. Look, Jason, people who don't know pastors personally don't know how many threats they get. Don't know how many threats they get. This pastor had been threatened. I talked to him last night. Pastor Farmer had been threatened by this guy before. And so he came in a disguise. They were watching him. But, you know, you can't pull your gun first. You have to react. And he pulled his shotgun out from under his coat, and Jack Wilson reacted, as did Richard White.
Listen.
Richard White was killed. Jack Wilson took him down. So that's the law we changed, that you can carry if a church allows it.
Listen, Jack Wilson, I cannot say enough good things
about
ordinary people who do extraordinary things, and God bless him. He saved a lot of people that day. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for joining us. Happy New Year.